Hello, this is James. I have another farming deck for Valiant Crowler, and this one might be my favorite. This one might be the new meta of farming decks, if there is such a thing. Um, I saw the concept originally on a Japanese YouTuber's channel named Nute Tetu, and I have put a link in the description below. So in the original, beautiful, elegant three-card combo, we had Anteater Eating Ant, Catapult Turtle, and Soul Exchange. I don't have one, so pretend that this is Soul Exchange. So what we would do is we would have our Death Counterblow and our Massive Morphs and our Temple of the Mind's Eye to stall out. You would special summon Anteater Eating Ant by getting rid of these two from your field. Then you would, since you still had your normal summon, you would tribute Anteater Eating Ant for Catapult Turtle. Then you played Soul Exchange, and then Soul Exchange allowed you to blast the bloated Ancient Gear Golem from Massive Morph with the Catapult Turtle right back in the opponent's face, and you don't need to worry about traps, you don't need anti-magic arrows. It was elegant and perfect. But this is a free-to-play channel. We can't afford elegance. So instead, we have a very, very nice 4-card combo, which is our Catapult Turtle, our 2 Escher the Frost Vassals, and an enemy controller standing in for Soul Exchange. And instead of Anteater Eating Ant, which we could totally use. You could use 2 of these in your deck. But I think this is an easier card to get. So, what you do is you stall out with Temple of the Mind's Eye, Death Counterblow, and your healing cards. You can do a little bit of thinning with Planet Pathfinder to get your Temple of the Mind's Eye, very important. You pick 1 Ancient Gear Golem, and to get over 10,000 damage, you need to put all 3 Massive Morphs on that Ancient Gear Golem. Then, in your final turn, you special summon both Escher the Frost Vassals. His effect says, if your opponent controls 2 or more cards in their spell and trap zones, you can special summon this card from your hand. So, because Crowler generally has to, like, he fills up his spell and trap card zones, because he doesn't learn, you can special summon both Escher the Frost Vassals. Pretty sure that this has been working pretty consistently. Anyway, so then you have your 2 Eschers. You use your enemy controller to grab the big golem from Massive Morph, and then you Catapult Turtle. And it's so simple, and I love it. And roll the clips. Now these farms go pretty fast. This one is about 7 minutes, and then the other one was 5 minutes. But I started the recording a little bit late, and now it's tempting to put your Massive Morph on a monster that is not Ancient Gear Golem, but I wouldn't do that unless you had no choice and you have to salvage the farm because you're about to get killed. But you don't want to put Massive Morph on any monster other than Ancient Gear Golem, because he has Spell Gear, which blows up all of his Ancient Gear monsters. It's like if you have 3 Ancient Gear cards in the field, you can destroy all of them and summon 2 Ancient Gear Golems, one from your hand and one from your deck. So if you put it on, say, his Ancient Gear Beast, you might be fine, but you might see a Spell Gear. So be on the lookout for that. But obviously, if it's do that or lose the farm, go ahead and put the Massive Morph on whatever you need to. Now the Death Counterblow, it makes some pretty weird AI. He won't attack you with his last monster. He'll just keep once you have 2 ladybugs and 2 ladybugs and Temple of the Mind's Eye, and he only has 1 monster, he'll just keep summoning monsters, hitting you for 1,000 damage, having the monster die, and then not hitting you with the second monster. So if you just keep healing yourself for 1,000 with ladybugs, or your supremacy berries, then you know you should be all set to just stall out and wait for your combo pieces. Only 4 combo pieces. 4. I love it. Gravekeeper's Vassal has at least 5. And this would be even more efficient if we had a a soul exchange, which I like. I like stealing the opponent's monsters. That's a great card, but I don't like the idea of giving up your battle phase. Like that's too slow for Duel Links, I feel. So see, he has the Ancient Gear Golem out, and that's our boy. That's who we're gonna hit with our massive morphs. And see, once he hits you with the monsters in ascending order of attack. So he always hits you with his weaker monsters, and then he doesn't hit you with his last monster, which is good. We can exploit that. And arguably, this deck is a little too conservative. You could certainly speed it up by taking out the supremacy berries and putting in a Jar of Greed or a Shard of Greed, whatever draw cards you might happen to have. And you could definitely do it with 2. Say you didn't want to dig around in... well, okay, so obviously you could use Spell Striker, but that's an ultra rare. But you could also do it with 2 Anteater Eating Ants. You just make sure you have all the proper cards set. But that's, you know what, I would caution against that, because that's a little too complicated. And see, that's the reason we need both massive morphs, is to get the attack over 200,000 or 20,000, so then we can get over 10,000 damage and maximum score. Look at that, 9,100, and basically away from keyboard. No sweating about getting your acid rains or your ray of lights or your other stuff. Now I don't think that this will work well on Esperoba. For the primary reason is that Jinzo blocks all your traps, so that's a minus. But also, you don't. His monsters are too small for this to work optimally. You need, I want to say, you need to be able to massive morph a monster with a starting attack of at least 2,000. I think that's right. And then all of his monsters are weak except for Jinzo, which stops massive morph from working. So here we're gonna discard our extra cards, and make sure you don't discard your combo pieces. Just discard your extras, and you can use your Planet Pathfinder for some deck thinning. So there, I'm checking the graveyard to see how, because it won't work. It'll get stuck on the field if you don't have a Temple of the Mind's Eye that you contribute it for. Now we're just gonna go ahead and get rid of Temple of the Mind's Eye there, and you don't need to save a Temple of the Mind's Eye because this is doing effect damage and not battle damage. So you don't need to play a face down Temple of the Mind's Eye like in the raw farming deck, the one with Kisatai. 4-card combo, and this Escher the Frost Vassal, I can't really believe that the card exists. Like I was going through and looking for cards that I could special summon, and I just happened to have 2 Spell Strikers, and I thought, well, that's not going to work for most people. But you can just special summon as many Eschers as you want, as long as the opponent has at least 2 spell cards. And generally people set them both. They set 2 spell cards, and then they're not going to use them because you're not attacking. So could this deck be used for PvP? And then here we weren't able to get the massive morphs on the golem. So that Ancient Gear Knight, that was the boy that we massive morphed. Still high maximum score. Thank you for watching.